There is no denying that legendary Pokemon are straight up badass, and without them, I wouldn't be able to make many videos here on YouTube. Pokemon as a whole would be completely different if the legendaries were never made. But did you know that some Pokemon were supposed to be legendaries, but were either cut last second or scratched very early? Well, in this video, I will be going over the top 5 Pokemon that were supposed to be, or should be, legendary Pokemon. Without further ado, let's get into it. I have a feeling you saw this one coming. Now, aside from Arcanine being an absolute savage and having an incredible design, this Pokemon does have a very strong reason for being on this list. There are tons of videos on YouTube about Arcanine's theory, but I would have to say it's more than a theory. In the first season of the Pokemon anime, specifically in episode 2, Ash makes his way— wow, did I just say ass? You know what, I'm keeping it. Ash makes his way to Viridian City to heal Pikachu after a Sparrow attack on Route 1. When inside the Pokemon Center, Ash notices a picture on the wall that resembles what seems to be the legendary bird trio and some unknown dog Pokemon. But as you take a closer look, it seems clear that this Pokemon is an Arcanine. As the scene goes on, things start to get even a little stranger, starting with Ash confusing the obvious Articuno as the legendary Ho-Oh, and then to top it off, the Arcanine picture somehow turns out to be a FaceTime screen. I mean, all morals went out the window with this scene, but when Ash brings up that he saw a flying Pokemon much like the one pictured, Professor Oak laughed and assured him that he was mistaken due to the fact that trainers have searched their entire life to find these legendary Pokemon. Now, although this scene was completely ridiculous, it gave us a base for a great theory behind Arcanine. Immediately after the episode aired, fans started to ask the big question: is Arcanine the legendary Pokemon pictured? I know that sounds crazy, but you gotta remember, before this episode, Generation 2 of the Pokemon series had yet to be released, so this would disqualify Entei for being the possible culprit and leave Arcanine as the only Pokemon in Gen 1 that resembled this image in the slightest. To top things off a bit further, Arcanine's dex entry from the earliest generation states, a legendary Pokemon in China, many people are charmed by its grace and beauty while running. This Pokedex entry literally solidifies the fact that Arcanine could be a legendary Pokemon, but never became a legendary Pokemon in the first place. However, it would make sense to mimic the trio trend and create the dog trio much like the bird trio in the following generation. Who knows? Without this change from the Pokemon Company, we may have never received a dog trio, and I don't think it's a long shot to say that Arcanine was a huge inspiration for the legendary Pokemon Entei. Now, Darkrai wasn't supposed to be on this list, but one of my buddies named Delta Lucario corrected me on the last video after calling Cresselia a mythical Pokemon. I put all these hours of editing into a video and mess up on one stupid part. Well, anyways, I appreciate it, Delta, and by the way, if you guys aren't subscribed, I would be honored if you could hit that subscribe button so you can catch me on my next mess up, because it seems to happen a lot. Now back to Darkrai. Darkrai and its counterpart Cresselia make up a duo known as the Lunar Duo because they both represent different phases of the moon. Oddly enough, however, Cresselia is a legendary Pokemon because it can be caught in the Pokemon game without use of event, while Darkrai can only be received by the member card, making Darkrai a mythical Pokemon. This makes Darkrai and Cresselia one of the only duos where both Pokemon are not classified as the same status. I bet you're scratching your head right now, and this may be the reason why you clicked on this video in the first place, but I do have some reasoning behind this third pick. As you all know, the Pokemon Company loves to make legendaries in pairs of 3. For example, the Weather Trio, the Bird Trio, and the Dog Trio, and there are many more. But what if I told you that Skarmory was supposed to be in a trio? Well, in the second generation, Lugia and Ho-Oh were the 2 legendary flying mascots, with Lugia being on Pokemon Silver's cover and Ho-Oh being on Gold's cover. But take a look at this. In the Pokemon TCG set, Neo Revelations, there was a card with Ho-Oh, Skarmory, and Lugia that can create a full picture if put side by side. There are a few other cards that are one full picture, for example the Dog Trio, but Skarmory is the only Pokemon in these images that doesn't have any correlation to the Pokemon depicted. Now, I know a picture may be a long shot, but I wouldn't be surprised if the face of Pokemon Silver was supposed to be Skarmory. But let's thank God that this wasn't the case, because this simple change would have led to a massive difference in the second generation of Pokemon, and of course having Skarmory as a legendary Pokemon would be lame, so I'm glad this never came to reality. Okay, maybe a legendary status is a bit much for these two, but at least mythical. These two Pokemon have laid such a foundation in the lore of Pokemon that I could literally make an individual video on each. I remember specifically when Lucario came out, I was sure that it was a legendary Pokemon, because of its lead role in the movie Lucario and the Mystery of Mew. But to my disappointment, it was just a movie about a specific Pokemon and its past. I was not the only one surprised at the outcome. Now, number 4 I saved for 2 Pokemon because I feel like they both got the same end of the stick. Zoroark, on the other hand, starred in a movie as well, which was Zoroark and the Master of Illusions. But this even takes it a step further because it was even an event Pokemon in Pokemon Black and White, and usually event Pokemon are mythical. To top things off even more, Zoroark was the only non-mythical Pokemon that could be caught via an event until that changed in Pokemon Black 2 and White 2. But before this, Zoroark could only have been obtained when either a Raikou, Entei, or Suicune is taken to Lostlorn Forest outside of Nimbasa City. I feel like Zoroark really got screwed over here because it had 2 things going for it. In some aspects, I'm certainly glad that Rotom didn't become an actual legendary Pokemon. Rotom may have just pushed cute legendaries over the edge, but I believe Rotom was supposed to be a legendary Pokemon. When we were first introduced to Rotom, it was in a very different manner from past encounters. After completing the National Dex, Rotom could be found on a static TV inside the old chateau. The reason why this Pokemon is on the list is because when entering battle in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, the legendary battle music starts playing. Instantly, Pokemon fans around the world were under the impression that this was a legendary Pokemon. Even the Ultimate Pokemon Handbook classifies Rotom as a legendary Pokemon. So what gives here? Well, there are 2 ways to take this theory. One of them obviously being that this was just one huge misunderstanding, but the second one I think is much more interesting, and it's the fact that the Pokemon Company had much bigger plans for Rotom. I mean, think of all the opportunity in a Pokemon that could have tons of different forms. Just look how far this Pokemon has come throughout the past 14 years. Rotom has completely made us forget all about Dexter, and what kind of legendary would be given to every trainer that starts their journey. It would literally just take away from the existing legendary Pokemon. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and as always, Pokemon fans, take it easy and peace out.
Like a turd.